Okay, so today we are going to talk about understanding the German job contracts for healthcare professionals. Agenda for today's meeting will be: first, we will see what are the key clauses in a job contract for Germany. Second, what are the things you can negotiate, how you can negotiate, and what are your negotiating power. And third, there are some real life cases I have to share it with you so that you guys are aware of those instances before even you sign your contracts. And then, what is the key takeaway from this webinar? In the end, you'll also get a discount coupon for this March month batch. There is a 15% discount. In the end of the webinar, you will be getting it. Okay. And first is why it is important for you to understand. So understanding good contracts and terms give you the negotiating power. It impacts your salary, it impacts your working condition and a future career. Imagine a place where you are working with an unhappy salary, unhappy colleagues, and questioning your future. So it is very, very important for you to think before you act when it comes to job contract. Sometimes unexpected issues do arise due to unclear contract terms. Okay, and so you should always understand the term between industry standard and legal structure. Legally, you will be allowed to say, for example, what is the minimum wage according to law in Germany is in 2025 it is 12.90 euro. But the industry standard is higher. So there is always a difference between what is the legal allowance and industry standard. Okay, and next is probation period or Probezeit. Why is this important? In Germany, almost all contracts include a probation period of 3 to 6 months. Okay, and during probation period or Probezeit, termination notice is shorter. So it is both beneficial for employer and also for you, because if you are starting to work in a new place and if you don't like the place or if you are not comfortable with the travel or any other factors are disturbing you, in the first 3 to 6 months you both have the freedom to discontinue or terminate the notice in just 2 weeks. And there is a in the next slides I will show you what is the different Kündigungsfrist. Kündigungsfrist means termination notice that you should give to break the contract. If it is less than 6 months, what is the notice period? If it is less than 2 years, what is the notice period? If it is less than 5 years, what is the notice period? So that you have a different structure for this. What are the key questions you should ask? How long is the probation period? Yeah, because this is a vague structure from 3 to 6 months. Someone can have 3 months, someone can have 6 months. But by law, until 2 years, first 2 years, you can even give 4 weeks of notice. Okay. What happens after probation? Will there be a salary increase? Yeah, that's a question you should ask, because during the probation period they are seeing how you are working and you are also seeing how the place is. So you should ask if there is a salary increase after the probation period, but it is not a must that they should do it. It is a question how they are going to increase your salary. Is it based on the Probezeit, the probation period, or based on your certifications, how many certificates you make, or based on the experience you are going to do. So all this you have to talk initially. And then, can I terminate the contract during the probation period if needed? Yes, you should ask this question also. What is the red flag here is, if the probation period is longer than 6 months, then ask for a justification, because it is not legal. And then, what is the working hours? Überstunden means overtime. Okay, so standard working hours in Germany is 38 to 40 hours per week, and standard per day is 8 hours. You are also allowed to work 10 hours per day, but not continuously for 3 days. It is prohibited. 10 hours per day, if you are working, you definitely should have a break after the second day according to the law. And overtime must be compensated with extra pay or time off. Yeah, so if you are working overtime, how are you paid for that overtime? Or do you get additional payment for it, or you collecting those extra payment hours and take it as a holidays, or you take it as a time off in your regular working hours? So that also should be discussed in the contract. And then how many hours per week am I expected to work? You can ask this, and it can also be flexible. Like, am I allowed to work 30 hours per week or 40 hours per week? It's always a discussable topic, and it's also flexible. Okay, is overtime paid separately or compensated with overtime? Do I have to be available for any emergency calls or extra shifts if someone is sick and if you are going to join? So all this comes under this overtime. If overtime is expected but not compensated, either negotiate or reconsider the contract. And holidays. This is a very important topic for you guys. What are the paid holidays? What are the sick leaves? Public holidays? So why is it important? In Germany, a minimum legal paid vacation is 20 to 30 days per year. You see here also 20 to 30 days is a big duration, is a big range actually here. So here 20 days is the minimum requirement for a full-time job. The employer has to give vacation. But what is the industry standard? You should also know the industry standard. The industry standard for physiotherapy fresher is around 25 days. That is the industry standard. And if you are lucky, you may even get for 28 days. And that is usually it comes after with experiences. But the industry standard is 25 days. What is the public holidays? And what are the public holidays vary from state to state. In Bavaria, you may have some different public holidays. In Bern, you have different public holidays. You should ask your working place if they have multiple branches, which public holidays do you recognize. And then sick leave, it's 100% paid for the first 6 weeks. Say, imagine if you are sick with corona, or if you are sick with any debilitating disease, let's say for example a fracture or something. For the first 6 weeks you are paid 100%, and then you still get paid, but the percentage is reduced. Around 70%, 60%, they keep reducing it. Okay. And then the key questions you should ask here is, how many vacation days do you get per year? And then what specific days, like say for example, if you are given 25 days of vacation per year, is your practice having a regulation or rules that no, you should always divide it into 10 days in each quarter of the year, or you can accumulate it and take it as end of the year, or can you carry forward to the next year? So all these should be discussed and then agreed in the contract. And then what happens if I fall sick during the vacation? You can also ask that. You should have a proof from a German doctor. Then you can also extend that sick leave. You can add sick leave in the vacation period. Okay. Are public holidays paid, and do I have to work? So this is a very good question, because there are some practices who are allowed to work for public holidays. 99.9% in physiotherapy practices, they are not allowed to work on public holidays. But some percentage, some practices, if they are registered as a hospitality industry, then they are allowed to work for public holidays. And then when you are working on public holidays, ideally you get 2 working days off when you work on a holiday, or you get paid additionally. If the contract offers fewer than 20 vacation days, it's illegal. You should ask for that. Okay. So now I said already about the contract duration, termination notice, and all those things, right? So in the Probezeit, there is 2 weeks of termination notice should be there. And if it is 6 months to 2 years of your working, like how many months are you working in a practice, in a place, based on that, if it is less than 2 years, according to the law, even you can give 4 weeks. Okay. And sometimes you have to remember that the 4 weeks starts from the beginning of the month. Like say for example, you are saying March 10th that you are going to next practice, then it will be counted from end of the month. Like say for example, from end of the March, you will be counted 4 weeks, like that. So you always make sure that in the beginning of the month you are giving the notice. And if it is 2 to 5 years, 1 month. If it is 5 to 8 years, 2 months later, you can take a note of this slide. And why it is important? Contracts can be fixed term or it is permanent. Usually for physiotherapy industry, they provide a permanent contract. It called unbefristet. Okay. Termination notice, yeah, typically 1 to 3 months. It is a deal struck by the employer. So if you sign for it, you should agree and you should keep up. But legally, you are allowed to go in 4 weeks if you are still with less than 2 years of experience. And then, what are the questions you should ask? Is my contract fixed term or permanent? How long is the termination notice period? Can the employer terminate me without any cause? Yeah, it is not possible for an employer to terminate you without any cause until big financial damage or any physical damage or any violence is proved. It is not possible for an employer to terminate you without any cause. If the contract offers fewer than 20 weeks of vacation, it's illegal. Yeah, we already discussed about it. And then what is the social Versicherungspflicht? It means that what is the social security and pension contribution? Social security means social Versicherung, social insurance means. Okay. And why is it important? Employees contribute approximately 20% of their salary to the social security. The rest comes from the employer. So always you have to make sure that in your salary slip there is a mention on how much you contribute and how much the employer is contributing. So in the upcoming webinar, let's say for example, if people who are already in our program, I can even show how a salary slip looks and what are the components are there, and I can even show you my job contracts and other job contracts in our team. And because since it is a closed circuit webinar, we can show it there. Then what are the contributions for the renta? Renta means pension, health insurance and unemployment benefits. And all employment longer than a mini job should take up employer contributions. What is mini job? Mini job means if you are working for around 500 euros. Now it is increased for 556 euros this year. So if you are working for this, you don't have to pay taxes for that amount, and the employer also don't have to pay for your social insurances, social security, you don't have to pay. So other than that, if you're working more than 550 euro, then the employer have to pay for it. Will I be enrolled in a public health or private health? Yeah, this is a question you have to ask. Normally for physiotherapists, we don't need to ask this question because we are already in the bracket of mandatory public insurance. Imagine if there is an IT professional who is getting more than 73,000 I think this year, then they are eligible for private health insurance. And so they have to make this discussion, will they get public or private health insurance? When should I provide social Versicherung? Ausweis. Like you should, because when you are first coming from India to Germany, you will not be having this Ausweis. Ausweis means identity card. Here it means a number, identification number for social security. Okay, so that you may get, it will take 2 weeks or 3 weeks to reach you until you get. So this should not affect your salary payment in the first month. So you should ask these questions. Like when you first reach Germany, you will not be having tax number, you will not be having this social Versicherung Ausweis, you will not be having bank account. So all this you have to discuss before coming to Germany. It's always optional. Yeah, this point, the red flag is very important for you to understand, because imagine when you are working more than 1 year in a practice, and sometimes if the employer is not ready to give you a hike, he can say that, okay, I will add you in a Altersversorgung or additional pension plans. This is very useful for people who are going to settle or live retire in Germany. If you are, imagine if you are going to work until 67 years of age in Germany, then you will get pension. But there are other private companies who make a business that when you are 67, the inflation rate will be very high at that time. So your current pension insurance will be very less for you. So additionally pay extra 25 euro, 50 euro every month, which will be making like 1 million euro when you are retiring. So those kind of sales will be done by the private insurance companies, and some employers will get benefited, will get tax benefits, and will get they have to give less salary hikes if they are contributing this additional pensions. But it is optional, you don't have to accept it. Because I was offered this in my last job, and I said no, I don't want this because I never know how many years I'm going to live in Germany. So I just prefer to get my hike in cash. So it's up to you. And next is the visa and the work permit consideration. If an employer is employing you while you are still in India, how he is going to support you for the visa and work permit. So right now what you are seeing in the picture, this is called a green Zusatzblatt. It means additional paper. It will be given along with your visa or your resident permit. So this will give the status of your work permit, like where are you allowed to work, how long are you allowed to work. All this information will be given in this sheet. Why it is important? Because your job contract must meet the visa requirements for a blue card or work permit. See, for a blue card, currently physiotherapist or any immigrant coming from a foreign country should be able to make more than 40,700 euro, 40,000 or 42,000 something. Around this stage, they have to make to eligible for a blue card. So if your salary is less than that, you have to negotiate it. Because I have seen an experienced physiotherapist who came here and who is right now eligible for a blue card. He's getting more than 41,000 euro. And employers should assist with visa documentation if hiring from abroad. Yeah, without this assistance, the visa documentation will not be going through. You will not be able to, because the employer's duty is not just to give you a job contract. He has to sign a lot of papers with the immigration office, with the local job agency. Job agency, I mean, like in Germany there is a government body that is allotting jobs and that is seeing the unemployment rate, all those things. So with them he has to sign a lot of papers. So all this documentation has to be supported from the employer. What are the key questions to ask? Will my salary meet my visa requirements? Does the employer support the visa or work permit application? What happens if my visa is delayed? This is a very important question because in the job contract you will be given a start date. And what happens if your visa is delayed? And will the job contract still valid? Is the employer still obliged to give you a job when you are delaying it? So all this you have to discuss while signing the job contract, because the visa delay is not in any one of us hands. It is not in the hands of you or the employer, because this is based on the queue in the Ausländerbehörde, in the immigration office, or in the consultation, in the consultancy in India. So all these are making the factors for your visa. So if the employer refuses to provide visa support, then you have to be careful about if you want to choose this employer or not. Because I have seen a case where an employer have not supported a candidate, and now he got another employer, and now he is in Germany now. Next, how to negotiate. So, can you negotiate your salary in Germany? So the question is, the answer is yes. But the actual question is how. So for you to know how to negotiate, you have to understand what are the standard, what are the legal structure in a job contract, and what are the industry standard. As I already told you, the legal is a bare minimum someone should pay. Industry standard is what is happening in Germany. Like say, if your colleague is getting paid unfairly higher than you, just because you are from a foreign national, you do not know the law, you do not know the industry standard, you just accept for a low offer. That happens. I know that I have seen there are many foreign professionals who are working here for a lower salary because they do not know what is the law, they do not know what is the industry standard. I myself have seen it, and then that is why I wanted to do this webinar, to show what is the standard. And then what can you negotiate? First, higher gross salary based on experience. See, this can be contradicting to you, because normally in India you may have 5 years of experience or 10 years of experience, but when you come to Germany you are considered as a fresher. But still the employer may even consider your experience in India, but it is not a must. So it is a thing of negotiation where you can try for it. Okay, and it is not a must, because when you are coming to Germany you are considered as a fresher. But then after coming to Germany, within 1 year or 2 years, your entire experience in India is also counted. Why I am saying this is also counted? Because when I had my first job here, I was not having 4 years of experience in Germany, but I was having 6 years of experience in India. But according to the German law, when I have more than 4 years of experience, I am eligible for a scholarship from the employment agency, and my employer has applied for it, and he got the scholarship for me to do my certificate course in a Lumpfdrainage. It is like €1,500 course, and the local employment agency has sponsored it because I had 4 years of experience, but not in India. So my experience in India is also counted in these cases. So it is a point of debate, or it is a thing to debate where you can try and negotiate about the experience. Okay, and then continuing education sponsorship. Just now, also what I said, your employer can contribute to sponsor you for the continuing education. And when it comes to when your employer is sponsoring you for the continuing education, he may also have a deal with you that, okay, if I sponsor you this, you have to work with me until this much years with that. So it is naturally acceptable deal. And then what is the flexible working hours? Like say it is a negotiable part where the employer may say that this is my clinic's busy hours, so I need you in these hours, and you can say that, oh, in the evenings I need to spend with my time with my family, so I want to go home a bit earlier. So these things are negotiable, but it's always flexible. And what is the relocation assistance? When you are relocating from one state to another state in Germany, mostly the employers give you a bonus, like Wechsel's premium they say, and it can be ranging from €1,000 to €4,000. So not all employers, some employers even provide this. You can even ask for it, and they also can claim it in their tax. What is the praxis car? Praxis means practice, the clinic. Cars means like if you are having German driving license, you will be given practice cars to see home visits during your working time, and it is a negotiable part because they can give you for it. And then how to negotiate? Use the data, understand what is the market standard, and research what is the average salaries, and then be confident. Employers see how you value yourself. Okay, then state your current salary. So it's a pre-negotiation. Before even starting the negotiation, you can say what is your current salary, and then reason professionally. Justify your request with skills and experience, like what are the skills you have, what is the experience you have. So all this you have to professionally justify it. Though next is real life cases. I'm going to give you my own experience. Well, I was working in a job and then I wanted to switch to another job because it is in a big city. I want to switch, and when I switched, I already know an Indian physiotherapist who is having a practice in Frankfurt. And then since I know her, I was talking to her, and then I was telling her, oh, I'm thinking of moving to this city for a higher salary. And when I proposed her what I'm expecting, she said, yeah, I will offer you that salary. Then I was happy, and then we planned a starting date, and I trusted her that okay, I'll just join with her. But then on the date of joining, I saw the job contract, and I was shocked to find that she has given me the minimum wage. Sorry, not the minimum wage, minimum holidays, like 20 paid holidays per year. And that is not the industry standard. The industry standard is 25, and for my experience, I should be getting 28 normally. And so it was a big shock for me. And then but if I have not signed the contract on that day, I'm unemployed, because on the day of joining the job, I was trying to sign the contract. So it was a bad experience for me, and from that I have learned, and I'm sharing it to you. So whenever you see any job contract, first of all, read all the components well before the date of joining, not on the date of joining. Second, I have seen a friend who got a very good offer because of a huge experience already. He was an Indian physiotherapist living in Middle East. For 20 years he was working as a physiotherapist, and now he has completed his Anarkan. So he got a very good salary, which was higher than the industry standard. So this is the second one. And third, another friend who came from India to Germany, His employer was giving him a very good salary, everything is fine, but during the visa documentation, the employer was not sending the required documents. So it was delaying his process, and then ultimately he has to give up on that employer and then look for another employer. So this was another case. And I also saw a female physio who came with a spouse visa, and she accepted for a lower salary, she was having less holidays, and she was also getting poorly treated in the praxis. So all these I have seen here in real life. So when you are coming to Germany, make sure that you are not undergoing any of these, or feel free to connect with me regarding these. So what are the key takeaways today? Always read your contract carefully, negotiate your salary, bonuses and overtime pay, ensure all legal rights. Okay, and not only ensuring the legal rights, also make sure that is it at par with the market standard, industry standard. That is very important. And then watch out for the red flags, as we have seen all the red flags in each and every category. What are the next steps you can do? If you are already having your job contract, let us even review your job contract together, and I can even assist you what is good and bad about it. If you are not yet in the stage of job contract, if you have completed B1, we are conducting interviews in the next upcoming weeks. So if you are already having a B1 certificate, then kindly contact us. We are having next webinar, but we haven't given a date yet. So there will be a next webinar on German healthcare visas. Okay, and I'll give you a small timeline about the entire process. First, you can join MedUniverse, start using the mobile app, and then start the documentation. Upload your documents, start translation, and then language completion. If you already completed the language, go for interview. If you have not completed the language, complete the language. Prepare for B1 exam. Give your Goethe and Telk B1 exams, Goethe or Telk B1 exams, and then you will be placed for interview. Then after the interview, you will be given pre-approved visa from the employer, and this pre-approved visa is valid for 4 years, and then you can relocate to Germany. So this is the entire process, and this is a small statistics for you. And this statistics was prepared by Physiotherapy Association in Germany, and they have found that in this year there is 11,500 vacancies in this year alone. So if you guys are having B1, you are very good opportunity to fill this 11,500 job vacancies right now. And why they prepared this statistics? To show the recent federal election, to lobby the politicians about it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.